Hello guys, and welcome to a tutorial video on Starcraft 2. I saw Husky was doing these, and so I decided to do them as well. This is a game that was sent to me by a friend of mine. Whoa, why am I going so slow? No. Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't want to play at that speed. Not even a little bit. Okay, this is a game that was sent to me by a friend of mine. I looked at it a little bit to try and figure out who was going to be playing. It looks like we're going to have Frozen Void as Zerg, allied with Jeroth, who is a Protoss, playing against 13, who is Protoss, and Sheik, who is playing as Terran. Problem is, none of those are my friend. Or at least none of them are the avatar name my friend uses. So, apparently in the most recent beta reset, she decided to change her name, and I don't know who she is now. So I'm going to refer to everyone here as a he, since I have a 75% chance of misguessing. So I'd rather just call, her a boy than call her a boy and someone else a girl. Less chance of making people mad at me, huh? We've got a little chat going on early on. I don't know what it's about, but apparently someone named Jin thinks Jeroth has quite pleasing anatomy, and that means that he's on the wrong team. Don't quite know what that's all about, but hey, I'll take Jin's word for it. I don't know who that is either. This is the problem when, normally whenever I'm doing these games, I go ahead and, I look up player stats, I can say, ooh, Jeroth has been doing really good lately, but I don't know who any of these people are. I know who one of them is, but I don't really know who she is, and I'm hearing attacks going on. It looks like Jeroth has come over, and it's already being annoying, and trying to take down that gateway with his mighty probe. And another mighty probe. It's probe on probe action, guys. Like I said, this is a team game, so we're going to go ahead and have little scouting over here. Looks like they haven't come up and messed. Oh, yes, they have. Frozen Void has come over and is messing with the Terran. Actually, that was pretty good. For those of you that don't know the game, he had his drone sitting right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but sitting on top of where the barracks was going to normally go, and so the barracks had to be misplaced. That's not as big a deal for Terran, because Terran buildings can fly, which if I stay here, you'll probably see it fly eventually, but I'm not going to. And there's Frozen Void. Frozen Void is trying to harass this poor little SCV, and you see he's down to 25 health out of his initial 45. Sheik is saying, please stop that. This is a team game from what they said. I mean, not a team game, but this person who sent it to me said this was a game between her and some of her friends, so that may mean it's a little less competitive than most games, but she says it was a good game, and I trust her. For now, I may, harass her later. And it looks like, right now, for those of you, most people know this, I think. I don't know how new the new players are going to be, but they're sending out their scouts early on in the game, because if I go to, one of their, you can see, they know what was in the base at the time. They were there. I mean, this one is still running around trying to get stuff done. And there is a Marine that's going to try and kill it. But you can see, once you leave, you don't know what's going on. So you always want to go and get a unit into their base pretty early. That way you have a good idea of what they're doing. If you have a bad idea of what they're doing, it's not going to do a very good job, because they'll show up with an army and you'll be like, crap! Meanwhile, we've got a probe right here next to the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Which I guess now just call it Xel'Naga Tower. We have... It gives you vision of this place, so it kind of lets you know if they're coming. Problem is, of course, if they're sneaky, they're going to come down here, go up this ramp, move across this area. Oh, where's the other ramp? Come down this ramp, and show up at your front door. So they can still sneak around, but most of the time they're going to go right through the middle, because it's the most direct route to the other base. And this will let you see them. So, that's good. Looks like we've got 2 gateways from 13. Gateways are coming up. I'm assuming that's 13. It might be Z. But it's the Roman numeral from 13, so if your name is Z, you shouldn't have put, I don't know, should have put like ZIE or something. Plus, it's in all caps, whereas Sheik is not, so I'm assuming 13. And we got a nice little group of Zerglings from Frozen Void. Frozen Void may be going for early pressure, and there's a production hatchery. You don't see those very often. This is the Queen. It's a new unit in Starcraft 2. This, like I said, this is kind of a tutorial video. It's for people that don't have the beta but are kind of interested. The Queen is very different from the Queen from Starcraft 1. It has a couple of abilities. The most important one is Spawn Larva. You can see the little larva sitting up here, which once this line up here gets to the top, they will fall down as larvae down there. So basically the Queen is a 150-point hatchery, but you have to use it with a real hatchery. And then these little lines, the golden line means whenever a drone finishes, it's going to go over and start harvesting minerals. This says whenever a unit's finished, it's going to go out and rally right there. It's the same rally points. as StarCraft 1, but you can now rally workers, kind of like you could in Warcraft 3, I believe. And then Gerald has a Zealot down here. Zealot is watching to make sure there's not any drops to try and fly through here, although really not all that effect. I mean, it's going to stop like Reapers or anything, but if an actual dropship came through, the dropship could go down this way. So, decent Zealot, but not great. It will give him a 2-second warning when Reapers are coming in. Reapers are a unit I don't know if we'll see. The Terran is the only one that can make them, and the Terran seems pretty interested in making Marauders. Marauders are a heavy unit, and they're moving out for some reason. Maybe he's going to attack. Go Marauders. What the hell is he doing? I don't know. Marauders are a heavy unit. You can see they have 125 health, and they do an extra 20 damage versus armored units, so they are extremely effective against heavy units. Units that have a lot of armor, Marauders will just eat through. The Marines are still the same Marines. They have 45 hit points now rather than 50, but they do 6 damage, have a range of 5, so they're sort of your your general unit. They go down pretty easily, but they have a high rate of fire. You can see their weapon speed is normal, and Marauder's weapon speed is slow. So they do a pretty good rate of fire, and they will go ahead and do a lot of damage. A lot of Terran players will actually go ahead and... Oh, we have an attack coming in. A lot of Terran players will have their Marauders in front and then their Marines behind, because the Marines will do more damage as people run through, and the Marauders don't take as long or take longer to kill. So good job there. You don't want to lead with Marines. If you're playing, lead with Marauders. And these are Banelings. Banelings do 20 damage plus an extra 35 versus light. They're going to come in here and inconvenience the gateways. Not very effective. Those are got little sentries. Where are they? There they are. Little sentries that make these things. They kind of work to seal in guys. You actually had some Stalkers and such that couldn't get out. And all the Zerglings have died now. We now have a battle between Terran and their Marauders and the Stalkers. The Marines are not going to be horribly helpful against the Stalkers, but the Marauders will be great. Because again, Marauders do an extra 20 damage versus heavy units or against armored units, and these guys are armored. That was Blink. Blink is an ability that you can choose to research, and it lets them blink around. It's being used in combination because since Jaroth has this Xel'Naga watchtower, he can see this area, so he can blink up, blink down, do a whole lot of weird things, and just, in general, outmaneuver his opponent. So, pretty good little harass there. The one complaint I have is that, I don't know if it's a complaint, this may just be that 13 did a really good job, because you notice the Banelings came up and blew up against these buildings. And they really, they got through the 500 shields, and then they barely inconvenienced the 500. So the Banelings just basically did nothing. They could have been used more effectively if they'd waited for the Zealots to come out. But, oh well. They didn't, and that's sad, and someone will eat their chicken now. Yummy, yummy chicken. Alright, so Jaroth is coming over here to harass again. Blink, like I said, teleports the Stalker to a nearby target location. Blink can be used once every 10 seconds. So as long as you can see it, you can blink to it. So the problem, Jaroth cannot blink up here because he doesn't have vision up there. So the Stalkers can't jump into the base. But like if he got to the top of the ramp right here, he could blink through and go to that side. So pretty nice ability. Let's see, it looks like there's another Zergling swarm coming over here from Frozen Void. I want to try and not ignore the other side of the map too much, but the problem is the battles keep happening over here. Oh, and these guys, I won't say they're out of position. It looks like they were pushing over here to make sure there wasn't an expansion. But Jaroth picked a good time to try and come in here. But here they come. And so, yeah, they're going to have to... They probably could have tried to fight that, but the problem is, the positioning, they were here. So if they tried to fight the Marine force here, the other guys would just come down the ramp and flank them. Looks like Sheik is not willing to chase after that army. Army is halfway across the map now. They probably use Blink again, like I said, those blink up here and keep moving. So, and we do have some expansions going up. Jaroth has just built his expansion, as looks like Frozen Void has. Z has had her expansion for a while, or his expansion. I don't know, and I said Z, not 13. I'm getting confused. My guess is that this is my friend, but I'm going to try not to go with that too much. So, and then here is Sheik's expansion. It looks like everyone just now got their expansion except for 13. So, there we go. Alright, and, oh, that's interesting. We actually had some marauders that came up here in order to kind of block off the escape. And then, actually, that was a good idea. Sheik, stop. You had a good idea. And there he is, blinking to where you don't think they are. That is this is a hard place to fight stalkers. Stalkers can very easily abuse this part of the map, so looks like she's going to come up here and say, "Die, you stupid probe. I'm tired of stalkers being able to do that to me." Alright, what's going on here? It's like, Sheik has resource. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. Like, Sheik has resources. What's going on? Sheik is going for Thors. Thors are the new, very buff Goliath. You can see they have 400 hit points. Against air, they do 6 damage with an additional 12 versus light, so they absolutely tear mutas apart. And then Thor's hammer, their standard weapon, does 30 damage and 2 attacks. And that does 4 attacks, so you can imagine, I mean, that's 18 damage times 4.